move on the go. Let go.
Outwardly, Fernando lived an honest life with his job as an artist and judo instructor. But deep inside, he still felt something was missing, as if he was searching for his true passion. On a night of heavy rain while heading home, he stopped to smoke a cigarette. When the cigarette burned out, he casually tossed the butt down, and it floated along the water and fell into a sewer grate near the bank. Curiosity led him to step down and check, and right then, a crazy idea flashed through his mind. The next morning, Fernando met his friend, civil engineer Sebastian, to present the plan. It so happened that Sebastian was facing financial difficulties, so he showed great interest even though he noted that the plan would require equipment, tools, and a large sum of money. Therefore, Fernando began looking for a sponsor and approached DeBoza. However, DeBoza was also short on money, so he introduced him to an acquaintance who specialized in jobs named Murillo. The next scene shows Murillo breaking into an office at night to take money from a safe. He acted very calmly as if these small-scale jobs were just simple matters. The next day, Fernando met Mario at a cafe and presented the plan. At first, this master was not very interested, but Fernando convinced him with the promise that if successful, they would never have to work hard again. After that, Fernando drove Mario to the location, then together they went down the manhole right outside the bank to survey it. After some measuring, Fernando concluded they were only about 18 meters from the target. In the next scene, Fernando, Mario, and DeBoza discussed the details further. They planned to dig a tunnel into the bank, but inside there was a motion sensor system. However, Fernando realized that the device actually detected changes in temperature rather than motion, so he designed a special suit from sleeping bags to hide body heat. The remaining problem was that they did not know how to open the vault. Therefore, the next day, the whole group decided to conduct more thorough reconnaissance. Fernando took photos of the parking area behind the bank, then went inside with Sebastian under the cover of opening an account. While Sebastian distracted them, Fernando quickly photographed the lobby area. Unfortunately, he was soon noticed by security and was asked to go down to the basement for inspection. Surprisingly, this situation was part of Fernando's calculation. He took the opportunity to carefully observe the safe room. Meanwhile, the security staff checked all his belongings, including the camera, but found nothing unusual and had to let him leave. Only later was it revealed that Fernando had cleverly removed the memory card beforehand. Together with Sebastian, they reconstructed the bank's layout based on the collected images and memories. Next, Fernando planned the entry from a small room inside. They measured the distance from the manhole to the bank by counting the number of bicycle wheel rotations. The next day, Fernando applied his geometry knowledge to calculate the exact digging distance. To determine the precise angle for digging the tunnel to the bank, Fernando calculated carefully. At the same time, he also discovered that the money the group was targeting was all insured, so basically no one would suffer losses except the bank. That night, Fernando and his associates went down the sewer and began digging the tunnel. The next day, they hired another person named Alberto, who was responsible for arranging rest places and logistics. However, the group still had not figured out how to open the 400 locked boxes inside. At first, they considered using a thermal torch, but each box would take about 1.5 minutes, totaling 7 hours, too risky. Therefore, Fernando suggested renting a safe deposit box at another branch to study the mechanism. The very next day, Mario went to another branch of the same bank and rented a safe deposit box. While opening it, he carefully observed the lock structure. After that, Mario and his teammates took a truck and quickly left, then waited for Alberto outside his house. A moment later, they panicked when they saw police approaching, thinking the plan had been exposed. But fortunately, Alberto and his wife appeared just in time and told the police they were just friends, helping the whole group escape the dangerous situation. The tunnel digging work continued to be carried out, but then one day, they encountered an incident that caused part of the tunnel to collapse. Fernando set it aside for now and planned to buy a new drill, which made Mario angry because he had invested a lot of money in the plan. That night, Fernando went to meet his girlfriend, and the two lay down watching the starry sky. They talked about how light from the stars takes many years to reach Earth, meaning what we are seeing may no longer exist. This very thought unexpectedly helped Fernando come up with an important idea, and he immediately went to Mario's house. Fernando explained that the bank was heavily guarded both when open and when closed to prevent intrusions from outside or from below. However, the system was not designed to handle two situations occurring at the same time. Therefore, he proposed a bold plan. Instead of only coming from the tunnel, they would enter the bank through the main door during business hours, when the vault was open, thereby avoiding the heat and motion sensors. This trick would make the authorities believe they were only targeting small amounts of money and were trying to escape through the main door. That meant no one would suspect the existence of an escape tunnel. After hearing the plan, Mario was extremely excited and completely convinced. The next scene shifts to the day the heist was carried out. Everyone applied glue to their fingertips to hide fingerprints. Sebastian went down the sewer to handle his part, while Fernando and the others disguised themselves and entered the bank. Right before acting, they put on masks. After that, Mario and Deboza went up to the first floor, while Fernando and Alberto moved on the ground floor, at the same time drawing weapons and ordering everyone to lie down on the floor. A security staff member monitoring the entire event from the CCTV room immediately reported to the authorities. Right after that, it was revealed that Fernando was secretly listening in on their communications through their walkie-talkie. Mario instructed the tellers to put money into bags, while Alberto locked the parking area. Not long after, the authorities appeared outside and observed the situation. Fernando held a civilian as a shield and threatened to act if they tried to rush in. After that, he went back inside and informed his teammates that the first phase was complete. As soon as they heard this, Mario pointed his weapon at a woman and demanded that the security staff in the CCTV room surrender. The man reluctantly complied, handing over the ammunition and phone before being allowed to leave the area. Next, the whole group disabled all the surveillance cameras. Fernando entered a small room and moved a cabinet from the other side. Meanwhile, Sebastian broke through the wall and entered the bank through the tunnel. After regrouping, they brought equipment from the vehicle to the vault area and began assembling it. A flashback revealed that Sebastian had built a special device that could unlock in just a few seconds. As Fernando and Sebastian began opening each locked box, outside the bank, the authorities, media, and relatives of the hostages had gathered in full force. The captain exchanged information with the security staff to understand the situation inside. In another development, as Fernando and Sebastian continued handling the locked boxes, they suddenly heard special forces moving on the roof. At the same time, Mario received a call from the captain through the phone they had seized earlier. A flashback showed that Fernando had prepared for this situation in advance, instructing Mario to practice negotiation skills. Back to the present, Mario spoke with the captain and demanded that all forces be withdrawn from the roof while issuing a threat to those inside. However, the outside side secretly positioned two snipers in the opposite building. After that, the captain asked about Mario's demands and he requested to work with the district attorney. This proposal was accepted, and the outside side asked for an additional hour to prepare. During that time, Fernando and Sebastian had opened many boxes, collecting a large amount of cash, gold, and valuable assets. Outside, the authorities assessed the situation and concluded that there were only two main access points, the front door and the parking lot, completely unaware of the tunnel's existence. They thought this was just a calculated cash grab. A moment later, the captain called Mario again, urging him to stop. He emphasized that no one had been seriously harmed, so if they cooperated, they could receive lighter handling. He also offered legal support. Mario replied that he would discuss it with his teammates. Meanwhile, Fernando and Sebastian continued opening more boxes, while the outside forces could only wait. Right at that moment, the phone of one woman among the hostages suddenly rang, revealing that it was her birthday that day. Mario immediately congratulated her, while Deboza took a chocolate bar from someone else and gave it to her as a small gift. This image surprised the snipers and the outside team quite a bit as they watched through the window. Right after that, Mario even released this woman as a birthday gift. Then he approached the window and told the captain that he had spent 15 years in prison and would only agree to stop if guaranteed lighter handling. Hearing that, the captain immediately ordered the snipers to stand down for now, while instructing Mario to stay away from the window. Only later was it revealed that Mario was actually testing the outside forces' reaction to see if they were ready to act or not. Not long after, the captain continued contacting Mario, but was suddenly met with a defiant attitude and refusal to cooperate from the other side. Mario then requested to speak with his own lawyer, but when asked for contact information, he gave the number of a hostage instead. After that, He changed his voice and played the role of the lawyer himself to negotiate, thereby buying more time for his teammates to continue the plan. Next, Mario gathered all the hostages on the first floor, while Fernando and the others began transporting the entire loot through the tunnel. After that, Mario turned off the phone, causing the captain to begin suspecting his true intentions. Not long after, he noticed the nearby sewer grate and realized this group might have prepared another escape route. Meanwhile, after transferring the assets onto the boat, Fernando left all the weapons in the tunnel for the authorities. A flashback revealed that they were all just toys because Fernando did not want to harm anyone at all. Finally, Mario left the first floor area and met Fernando in the small room. As soon as he left, the people inside quickly retrieved their phones and contacted their relatives. Outside, the captain also sent one group into the sewer while another group approached from the main door. Fernando and Mario immediately erased all traces related to the tunnel and quickly boarded the boat with the rest of the group. Another flashback showed that Fernando had anticipated the sewer would be discovered, so they had built a dam to raise the water level, helping the motorboat move upstream to escape. In another development, the captain entered the small room and finally discovered the tunnel, where a decoy device had been placed to block the way. However, he soon realized it was all a distraction. Unfortunately, by then it was too late because the other group had already left the scene. Meanwhile, Fernando and the whole group retreated safely by vehicle while destroying all remaining traces. After that, they gathered at Alberto's house and divided the proceeds equally. A few months passed, and the whole group seemed to be enjoying their new lives. However, an unexpected incident occurred when Alberto's wife discovered he had not been honest with her. In her anger, she reported the information to the authorities, causing his identity to be exposed. As a result, the entire group was arrested one by one. Time passed quickly. After 7 months, Fernando was released and was picked up by Mario in a luxury car. Only then was it revealed that Fernando had anticipated even the possibility of being caught. He proactively suggested using fake weapons to avoid causing harm, thereby helping reduce the level of punishment. Not only that, the group still kept a large portion of the assets because the bank did not keep detailed records of what was stored in the locked boxes. The initial estimate showed a total value of up to $25 million along with many pieces of jewelry. But the authorities only recovered about $1.9 million and 8 cars of jewelry. Because of the lack of official records, they could not build a serious case, and in the end, this group almost only faced very light consequences. And that is the entire story of today's episode. Thank you for following.